What's up, everybody? It's Legal Tender. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the vote. I pulled out some notes to make a new video. As always, I want to start off by thanking everybody for supporting the channel. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're a fan of Newsmatics, if you're a fan of paper currency, if you're just getting into the hobby of Newsmatics, stay rocking with me, stay rocking with the channel, because every Tuesday is Legal Tender Tuesday, and I will be making a new episode every week speaking about something new, something different, or something interesting within the realms of Newsmatics. If you have any questions, any tasteful comments, or any input, put it down in the comment section. I read everything and I respond back to every comment accordingly. So don't be in the world looking crazy. Also, throughout this video, if I say something that isn't 100% accurate or it's a little different from what you know, tastefully let me know via the comments. Go back, hit the books, and make sure that I have the right information moving forward. All right, with that being said, let's get into today's episode. All right, so today's episode will be a completed set episode. Pulled out some notes, obviously, and these are the notes that I pulled out. Look familiar? Boom. All right, so like I said, this is a completed set episode, but this is a completed set based on series year. Now, if you wanted to have every note that was printed throughout this series run, you would need every series year and suffix letter that ties into that series year. And I think that'd be a total of like 11 or 12 notes. But I got 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this run came in, it was 3 series years. So I got a note from each series year. But I'll break down suffix letters and so on and so forth in a minute. Now, as always, you can tell the currency type up top. These are United States notes. And these notes are, United States notes are identified with a red Treasury seal and red serial numbers. These notes all have the same characteristics and they are all $2 denominations. 1, 2, 3. All right, and like I said, it was only 3 series years printed, and let's go. All right, so the first $2 bills, called United States notes or legal tender notes, were issued by the federal government in 1862 and featured a portrait of the first Secretary of the Treasury. And that individual is Alexander Hamilton. Now, like I said, the $2 bills came in 3 series years. Now, something that is interesting with the first series year is that it can be identified in 2 locations. In the lower left corner, a series year 1928. I don't got a 1928, I got a 1928G. So it's found in the lower left-hand corner and also at the top right. And it's interesting because the 1928 series year is the only one that is marked twice in the lower left-hand corner or the upper right-hand corner. The next series year is 1953. And it can be found to the lower right of the image on the obverse side. And the last one is series year 1963. So we got series year 1928, 1953, and 1963. Now, the image in the center of the note is Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13th, 1743, and passed on July 4th, 1826. He was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, architect, philosopher, and one of the founding fathers. He served as the third president of the United States of America from 1801 to 1809. Now, on the reverse of the note, the obverse here of Jefferson, and on the reverse, you will find his home that he built in his childhood. I always word that kind of weird, but it was brought to my attention that that wasn't his childhood home. This was a home that he built, I want to say at the age of 14. So when he was still a child. And this is Monticello. Boom. I want to say it is in Virginia. I made an episode speaking about the images on the reverse, on the obverse and in the reverse, and I spoke in detail about his childhood home, Monticello. So check that out if you want to know a little bit more about Monticello. Now, with these $2 bills, with the first series year 1928, these notes was printed with the following suffix letters. So it was printed in 1928, 1928A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So this 1928G is the last edition of this series year print run. Throughout that print run, there were quite a few different signature combinations, 7 in total. And we see that the Treasury seal is printed on the right, correction, is printed on the left side of the note. On the right side of the note, you have the word to in large and in the color gray. Now, I bring all that up because an interesting thing with the next series year. Now, with the next series year 1953, we could just look at it and already identify some differences. Now, there was some things that was moved around, some things that was subtracted, and some things that was added. Now, just looking at this note right here, the thing that was moved was the Treasury seal. The Treasury seal moved from the left side to the right side. And we see right here that the Treasury seal, let's see, how can I do this? The size of the Treasury seal was reduced in size, and also the word to got smaller as well. So the Treasury seal moved from the left to the right side, got smaller in size, along with the word to. In addition to the 1953 was the gray numeral 2. Now, over that numeral is the obligation. And the obligation reached the same from this series year and the previous series year. And the obligation reads as follows. It states on both notes that this note is legal tender at its face value for all debts public and private. Same thing up here. This note is legal tender for all debts, for its face value for all debts public and private. Now, I speak about that because that changed on the next series year, and I'll talk about that in a second. This design, I kind of like this design a little bit better. You have another numeral identifying the monetary value of the note. And then like this doesn't look bad. It's pretty cool. The reduction in size. So that is that. The series year in the suffix letter. So series year 1953 had the following suffix letters: 1953, 1953A, B, and C, for a total of 4 different signature combinations. Now on to the last series that was printed. And here we have series year 1963. Now this had the least amount of signature combinations with 2. Because this was printed with series year 1963 and 1963A for only 2 signature combinations. And also the obligation got shortened. Now the obligation on series year 1928 and 1953 was the same, but the obligation from 53 to 63 changed. Now the obligation reads, this note is legal tender for all debts public and private. The whole face value part got removed. And a fun fact, this obligation can be found on another currency type, and that is Federal Reserve notes. So Federal Reserve notes, I want to say starting with series year, I think 1996, the obligation reads this way. This note is legal tender for all debts public and private. I think so. If I'm wrong, somebody put that down in the comments. When did the obligation for Federal Reserve notes change to this wording right here? I want to say it's 1996, but somebody hit me up. Let me know. Also, the remarks on the 1963 note changed as well. Now, as I get more and more into numismatics and learn the little nuances and little things like that, I find out different things. So this is the obligation, and this is known as the remarks. The remarks on a 1963 note changed as well. Now, if you go back, 1928. Now, if we go back to the 1953 note, as we see right there, that's 1953 up top, and we got 63 at the bottom. Not only did the obligation change, the remarks changed as well, because on the 53, it states that the United States of America will pay to the bearer on demand $2. That's on 53. Now on 1963, it says that the United States of America, $2. That will pay to the bearer on demand was removed. Now, I got a theory about that right there. So check this out. Because I find it odd, not odd that they removed the remarks, but that they added that decorative piece right there. And it is the same color as the wording right there. And I think they did that for the purpose of tricking, of the eye tricking the mind. Because if it was just to be removed, it would look kind of false. Now, again, I'm finna go down a rabbit hole, so bear with me. All right, so we got series year 53 and 63. And I do get that the year isn't the series year doesn't identify when a note was printed. But we could kind of like estimate in ballpark that there was a 10-year gap between this note being printed and this note being printed. Now, for the last 10 years, that I got used to seeing all of this down at the bottom. So when they changed it, they reduced it, and they still put something white right there, so that the eye for the last 10 years got used to seeing like so much down there. They didn't want to trick that eye to where it may be perceived that this note is a counterfeit, because it was so used to seeing that for 10 years. It got used to seeing all of this filler for like 10 years. So they decided to put something down there in the same location because it is in between United States of America and $2 on both. But here we got words right here, and here we just have a decorative piece. Now that decorative piece serves no purpose, only for the aesthetics of the eye, to make it seem or to have it resemble as much as possible what it's seen for the last 10 years. Does that make sense? If it does, say yes. If it don't, say no. Put that in the comments. But yeah, like, it really serves no purpose. If anything, it's breaking up the remarks because the United States of America break $2. Here, the United States of America will pay to the bearer on demand $2. So that decorative piece really serves no purpose. I think it's just to remain a reasonable facsimile of what it was for the last 10 years. Enough for the rabbit hole. All right, we out of it. All right. So again, like I said, all the images are the same. All the images are the same on the reverse and the obverse. Monticello for all 3 series years. Also, series year 1963 was the last print run of this denomination in this currency type. The key word is the last year print run in this currency type, because the $2 note was reprinted, redesigned, and reissued as a Federal Reserve note. Now, going back for a second, it's the exact same image, it's the same denomination, but the currency type is different via the color of the Treasury seal. We had a green Treasury seal, same image, same denomination, but the image on the back changed. It went from Monticello to John Turnbull's rendition of the Declaration of Independence. Another fun fact, you will never see a Federal Reserve district seal on any United States currency, regardless of series year. Now, these seals right here are all U.S. Treasury seals. You will never see A through L letter identifier right there. And that is because United States notes were issued from the Department of the Treasury, not an individual Federal Reserve district. All right. And the last fun fact is that the image of Thomas Jefferson made its debut on the $2 United States note in the year of 1869, replacing Alexander Hamilton, which was on a note in 1862. Jefferson got on there in 1869. All right, that is all we got for this completed set. If you got 3 notes from 3 different series years in this currency type, you too will have a complete set. All right, that's all we got for this one. Until next time, keep it legal, keep it tender. Talk to you soon.